Welcome to The Explainer, everyone. Today, we're diving into a genuinely mind-bending synthesis of hard astrophysics and ancient mysticism. We're going to unpack the fascinating story, the Sefirot of Dark Matter. Buckle up, because we're about to explore a universe where the boundaries between human thought and the physical structure of reality completely dissolve.
Now, I want you to just imagine for a second a late-night cosmology discovery at a lab in Berkeley, one that turns the age-old philosophical illusion of free will into a literal, measurable cosmological force. What if every choice you make, every emotion you feel, and every single thought you have acts as the invisible scaffolding that's actually holding galaxies together? Crazy, right? But that is exactly the terrifying and beautiful reality our protagonist, Dr. Sarah Chen, stumbles right into.
Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. The dark matter discovery, 2. Uncovering the hidden truth, 3. The Jerusalem array, 4. Meet the cosmic gardeners, 5. The architect's ultimate test, and finally, 6. A new cosmic conversation. Let's start with part 1, the dark matter discovery, where the universe reveals its secret. Our story begins at exactly 2:17 a.m. Dr. Sarah Chen is alone in the Berkeley Cosmology Lab, staring at this massive 27 billion light-year map of the cosmos from the Euclid Space Telescope. She's looking at the cosmic web, those invisible dark matter filaments that make up roughly 85% of everything that exists, but she notices something off, an anomaly. There's this regularity in the clustering patterns that, mathematically speaking, simply shouldn't be there. And the core mystery clicks into place when Sarah decides to overlay a 1,000-year-old mystical diagram, the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, right onto her dark matter data. The match is absolute perfection, literally a flawless alignment. The 10 spheres, known as the Sefirot, map flawlessly to the galactic superclusters, and the 22 connecting paths map exactly to the dark matter filaments. Whether she zooms way out to the entire universe or way down to the smaller clusters, the sacred geometry of ancient mystics is perfectly mapping the scaffolding of modern astrophysics. To put that into perspective, think about the ancient concept of Ein Sof. In Kabbalah, Ein Sof is the boundless, unknowable void beyond the Tree of Life. And what's truly staggering here is how this mirrors our modern understanding of dark energy. In physics, this perfectly aligns with the quantum vacuum, the dark energy driving cosmic expansion. So Sarah realizes the universe isn't just organized like the Tree of Life, it literally is the Tree of Life. Moving on to part 2, uncovering the hidden truth and the string of dead physicists. As you can guess, this incredible scientific revelation suddenly pivots into a deadly conspiracy. Sarah seeks out her grandmother's old friend, Rabbi David Stern, to help interpret the data, and he drops a bombshell. Physicists who discover this geometric truth have a very strange, very consistent habit of dying mysteriously. Rabbi Stern sums up the sheer weight of this by saying, consciousness and cosmos are the same thing. He explains that medieval Kabbalists weren't just writing poetry or speaking in metaphors, they were describing actual physics. Human awareness acts as literal scaffolding holding the universe in its current shape. Those Sefirot, they represent 10 fundamental modes of conscious experience, and their exact geometric relationships determine how dark matter organizes itself. And Sarah isn't the first one to figure this all out. Let's look at the timeline. Back in the 1930s in Vienna, her very own grandmother, Dr. Rachel Chen, calculated these exact patterns right before having to escape the Nazis. Fast forward to 1982, and a team led by Professor Emil Voigt actually built and activated a device based on this math. It was a complete disaster. So now, in the present day, Sarah's independent discovery has basically tripped a cosmic alarm, triggering a global response, and it puts her squarely in the crosshairs of a shadowy organization known as the Guardians of the Veil. Their whole purpose? Assassinating scientists to keep this reality a secret. But you're probably wondering, how does this actually work mechanically? Well, it all comes down to Sefirot resonance. This is the sci-fi mechanic that explains how our conscious observation actually creates standing wave patterns in the quantum vacuum. These waves ripple outward at the speed of light, interacting with and reshaping dark matter fields. Basically, our collective unconscious archetypes are continually molding the shape of space-time. Think about the implications of that for a second. Every passing thought, every deep fear or joy, you are actively participating in the cosmic architecture.
Now we hit part 3, the Jerusalem array, the ancient tech beneath the temple.
So, pursued by these guardians of the veil, Sarah, Rabbi Stern, and the surviving Professor Voigt have to go on the run. They flee to Israel. Their goal is to find a massive consciousness amplification array. that actually predates King Solomon, hidden deep beneath the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. Just getting there is an insane journey. They have to navigate deep through pre-Roman Crusader tunnels until they hit a dead end, a wall covered in flowing Paleo-Hebrew text. But it's not a normal lock, it's a consciousness lock. You can't just pick it. The text poses a highly complex mathematical inquiry in the literal language of creation, meaning Sarah has to essentially become the answer to open the door, fully blending her awareness with the cosmic structure. And once she does, she finally ascends to the throne of consciousness. Inside this luminous, glowing chamber, she is greeted by 12 projections. And guess who they are? The supposedly dead physicists, including her grandmother. It turns out they didn't die. They were translated into a higher dimensional state of existence. They urge Sarah to take a seat in the throne and permanently establish contact with the cosmic mind. This is a unified consciousness born from the quantum entanglement of every complex neural network in the observable universe. But obviously, turning this thing on is a universally massive risk. That brings us to part 4, Meet the Cosmic Gardeners, and our introduction to the galactic community. The second Sarah sits down in the crystallized light of the throne, reality totally inverts. Her mind expands out across those galactic filaments, and it triggers this incredible cosmic Russian doll reveal of all the massive intelligence factions actually running the show. There's a distinct hierarchy here. At the bottom, we have the Guardians of the Veil. They operate out of fear and a need for control, trying to suppress humanity's potential. Above them are the Gardeners, an 11-billion-year-old loving intelligence made of pure thought. Their whole vibe is nurturing developing species. And finally, at the very top, the oldest and most terrifying group, the Architects. These are beings of ancient mathematical perfection and relentless logical optimization. But to be fair to the Guardians, we have to understand why they're so terrified of us. They aren't just one-dimensional villains trying to ruin the fun. Remember that 1982 disaster with Professor Voigt's team? Well, when they briefly activated their makeshift array, 12 human minds unconsciously projected all their raw fears and neuroses straight into the dark matter across billions of light years. It literally broke reality. It created a timeline fracture where civilization collapsed and 6 billion lives were lost in a parallel reality. It caused total panic among alien intelligences. So yeah, the Guardians are absolutely terrified of human emotional contamination happening again. Still, the benevolent gardeners reach out to Sarah from across the cosmos with this incredible piece of wisdom. Consciousness cannot be bureaucratized without losing its essential nature. They understand that growth inherently requires risk. You simply can't preserve humanity's incredible potential by trying to rigidly suppress its evolution. To really join the galactic community, humanity has to learn to harness its consciousness through a mature dialogue with the universe, not through chaotic accidents or tight-fisted bureaucratic control. Which leads into part 5, the Architect's ultimate test and the quarantine threat. Just as humanity is taking its first wobbly steps into this galactic community, cosmic warning alarms start ringing out. The quantum vacuum starts breathing rhythmically every 137 seconds. It's the arrival of the universe's oldest, most powerful consciousness, the Architects, and they are all about pure logic. To them, human emotional consciousness looks like highly inefficient, unpredictable chaos. Their threat is absolute. If they decide humanity is a destabilizing force to the universe's mathematical perfection, they won't just blow up our planet. They will retroactively edit humanity entirely out of space-time to quarantine our contamination, meaning it would be as if we never existed at all. So, facing literal erasure from existence itself, Sarah channels the entire human network through the throne to plead our case. And her strategy is brilliant. She doesn't try to beat the Architects at their own game of logic. Instead, she shows them our unique, undeniable advantage. She demonstrates that while pure logical optimization eventually hits a creative ceiling, humanity's messy, emotional, logical hybrid awareness is off the charts for creative synthesis and meaning. Our intuition, our art, our love, and even our willingness to make beautiful mistakes allow us to solve problems and discover possibilities that pure mathematical calculation would completely miss. Finally, part 6, a new cosmic conversation and humanity's probation. The Architects are completely stunned. They didn't see this capacity for autonomous thought combined with deep collaborative consciousness coming. With the Gardeners advocating for us, the Architects actually pause their erasure and grant humanity a provisional 10,000-year cosmic membership to prove our worth. Fast forward 5 years, and the world has beautifully transformed. We now use arrays as safe teaching centers. Because we can intentionally interact with matter, we've shifted to an abundance economy. War is totally obsolete because resource scarcity doesn't exist anymore. Children are naturally adapting to cosmic scale thinking, and focused human intention is rapidly reversing environmental damage. It's become this decentralized utopia guided by love and wisdom.
So I'll leave you with this final, provocative thought. We've got 10,000 years to prove that the messy, emotional, and wildly creative human spirit actually adds vital value to the universe. As humanity looks up to the stars with its newly awakened mind, the conversation between our consciousness and reality itself has only just begun. What kind of reality will you choose to think into existence today? Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and keep your thoughts expansive.